illustrating her versatility and ability to switch from mood to mood and from one outfit to another. She was goofy in one, serious or playful in the others, wearing a dark leotard and white tights, a sailor suit, or a button-up shirt with a sweater tied around her neck, clutching a handful of daisies, or holding a balloon on a string. In one shot, she feigned surprise as she pretended to read one of the Madeline children's books, glasses perched on her head, her mouth and eyes agape. The pretty, tow-headed girl worked as a model for Marshall Field's, Sears, McDonald's, and Montgomery Ward. She was a natural. She wore a standard 6X dress, and the camera loved her. Kristin gave up modeling for ballet the following year when the family moved to Bethesda, Maryland, and her father took a job as a deputy director of the Bureau of Justice Statistics at the U.S. Department of Justice. He worked for the Bureau, the national repository for crime statistics collected by government and law enforcement agencies, in 1983 and 1984, during the Reagan administration. 6-year-old Kristin began training at the Maryland Youth Ballet Academy, where she proved to be quite a talented little dancer. She was chosen for a walk-on role as a page in the Joffrey Ballet's performance of Romeo and Juliet, reveling in the honor of being backstage at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Years later, she wrote in her diary that the powerful Prokofiev score touched her to the core and remained one of her favorites. "There is so much passion in his notes," she wrote. Around that time, she also began to discover a love for science, and the academic pressures soon began to mount. Ralph Rossum relocated to Claremont, California in 1984, when he was granted tenure as a faculty member at Claremont McKenna College. He stayed for 1 semester, then spent some time working on a grant in Washington, D.C., where his wife, Constance, was a marketing manager for the Marriott Corporation. By June 1985, the family had reunited in Claremont, a small enclave of primarily white, highly educated residents. This community would serve as the family's base in the years to come. The 14-square-mile city is located about 30 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. In 2000, it had a population of 34,000 and a median income of about $70,000. Known for its tree-lined streets and small-town feel, Claremont generally houses about 5,000 students and professors associated with the 8 institutions of higher learning in the area. Of those, 7 are within the city's limits and are collectively its largest employer: Claremont McKenna College, Pomona College, Pitzer College, Scripps College, Harvey Mudd College, Claremont Graduate University, and the Claremont School of Theology. Azusa Pacific University, a small evangelical Christian university where Kristin Rossum was director of nonprofit graduate programs and a professor of marketing and management, is 10 miles away. One resident once likened Claremont to the community depicted in the movie Pleasantville, where residents live a 1950s lifestyle in black and white, until 2 modern teenagers introduce art, literature, sex, independent thought, and a symbolic sense of color to a town previously unaware that life existed beyond its boundaries. "People feel reasonably safe here," said Lieutenant Stan Van Horn, who headed the Claremont Police Department's Detective Bureau in 2004. Van Horn said the city's crime rate was pretty low, averaging 1 homicide every 4 or 5 years, which left police officers with plenty of time to deal with low-level crimes like vandalism and high school kids partying on weekends. His department's philosophy on crime fighting was as follows: if you take care of the small stuff, it doesn't develop into larger problems. Kristin's parents passed their work ethic on to their children and drew them into the academic world early on. In the summer of 1988, Kristin posed with her professor father for the cover of Claremont McKenna's campus magazine, Profile. With their heads together and their arms wrapped around his neck, they looked happy, almost serene. But unlike his daughter, Ralph did not grow up around parents with such academic drive, let alone the money to pay for it. Raised on a small dairy farm in Alexandria, Minnesota, Ralph was the only